Welcome on back, folks. We are here live once again for the Valorant Challengers #1. My name is UpMind, joined here by Sully, and we just got finished with a chaotic round of 32, and with a round of 16 starting, really, this is where the stakes start to get higher.
Yeah, everyone is vying for a spot in the close qualifiers. This is the best of 3 that decides who will be advancing to the top 8.
Can I get some bloggers in the chat?
Battle for a spot in the second close qualifier. They're looking for a top 4 spot overall, and this is where things boil down to. BBG versus Sentinels, built by gamers versus what I would call the beast of North America, proclaimed #1. This game is everything to these teams, but Sentinels, it hasn't been an easy road to the top, has it?
Not at all. I mean, in this tournament, at least, it has not been easy. Of course, they opened up yesterday with a fairly easy 4-0 map record, but then they come into today. Team Serenity, an organization that has been around Valorant for the past, I guess you could say 2 months, 3 months. They've had some really good players there, but they ended up picking up a completely new lineup. I would like to say less than like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Yeah. So what has happened since then? I mean, Serenity took a map off of Sentinels, but not just a map, a dominant one at that 13-5 on, of all maps, Ascent. Of course, Sentinels did end up making their way back, dodging a huge bullet on Haven 2 when there were actually 13-11, 24-round marathon. So Sentinels, they are now in a little bit rough of a position, but this is really the game where they can really bounce back and just try to secure themselves that close qualifier spot to, again, just dodge that entire bullet.
Yeah, I feel like it's rough to say that Sentinels have been on a slow decline, but it does feel that way, right? In the NSG Winter Champs, they came second in a very close best-of-5 with all 5 maps we played against Luminosity. Now, a lot of people were speculating, is this the fall of the Sentinels? Is this the fall of Tier 1 North America? Well, from an outside perspective, it does seem that way, but regardless, Sentinels, they've fought their way here, and they are here against, I would say, one of the best upcoming talents in North America. Built by gamers have been always constantly improving, and they've been looking to take down the best, and they have in the past as well. So Built by gamers, this is no easy feat for them, but on the flip side, Sentinels, they themselves know that this is no easy feat whatsoever.
These two lineups filled with star power in a sense, especially when you talk about the Sentinels lineup. Their IGL, their leader, Shazam, stepping up to the plate, but they still have yet another massive mind from the CS scene, Dapper helping out. And when you have incredible individual fraggers like Sick, Sinatra, and Zombs, this team becomes an absolute unit. We've seen it, we know it. But now for BBG, this might be a little bit of an introduction for some of these players for those out there. So we'll run it down. Rob Wiz, Foe, Bjor, Will, Critical. These guys have made their names known throughout the scene already. They just took down Space Station in what might be the upteenth time that they faced that team. But now against Sentinels, it's a whole other challenge. I don't know if these two guys have faced off just yet. I think maybe once or twice, but I don't think so. This team is really led up in terms of frags by none other than Critical and Rob Wiz. Those two players, in terms of maybe notoriety on Twitter or anything of the sort, those two always get mentioned throughout the match. But watch out for Bjor. He's going to be the one controlling most of the map. He usually plays up on Killjoy and, of course, the occasional Cypher. But both of these lineups with massive opportunities going forward to make their way into Challengers #2 with ease. But it's a whole long road towards it, and their lineups certainly help.
Yeah, and I just want to throw in there that I feels like we have the best Sentinels in North America at the moment. Bjor is arguably one of the best Killjoys we've seen. He is so stable, so clutch in so many positions, and then you've got one of the most aggressive Sentinels on the other side, Dapper. He loves to get map control. He knows how to get dirty, but let's get down to the dirty business. Our map pool, boy, we know and love it. It's Haven, Ascent, and Split. I mean, it's a traditional map pool, and I feel like it could go either way. I mean, this is a very good map pool for both sides. Ascent being a very strong map for Built by gamers. Obviously, Sentinels, formerly known as us Sentinels, but they definitely have taken a slight detour off that title. Haven being our second, something that Sentinels did struggle with, like you mentioned, against Serenity, 13-11 in Split. Well, it's the textbook map, I'd say, for Sentinels. They're one of the best in our region, and they are looking to take this series and find themselves in the close qualifier. But again, the map pool fits both of these teams and could easily go either way.
And it's funny you say that, because even with the loss that they just took to Serenity, 13-5 on Ascent, they still are one of the best teams on this map statistically. 75% win rate thus far, and almost literally a month ago, they beat TSM 13-1 on that map. So Ascent still very much up in the air between these two teams. Now, when we're talking about Haven, yet another one, 75% win rate, almost exactly the same thing, where they still have a very good record on. And not only that, but it's their consistent map pick outside of Ascent. Still BBG, they're going to be finding themselves in such a pit between these two maps. Their Ascent has to be so clinical, because we already know how much control this Sentinels team actually has on Haven. But now over towards Split, still very much is a very dependent map for Sentinels, if not their very best map. I was mentioning 75% for both Ascent and Haven. No, Split, they have almost an 85% win rate on this map. You face this team, you are almost never going to beat them. The last time that they lost really on this map was against Gen G back in first try qualifiers. That was almost 3 months ago, folks. This team of Sentinels, Split, I mean, really, this entire thing, it almost looks like a checkmate. But BBG, at least from the performances that we've seen on Ascent and Haven, they still very much have a chance.
Right, no matter what it is, Sentinels, they always have a little bit of a gap in their armor. You talked about Gen G 3 months ago, but more recently, I think we're all forgetting. I feel like this is a series that's so overlooked. NRG versus Sentinels. NRG took the map of Split off of them in that best of 3. They took it 13-10, so Sentinels, no matter how dominant, no matter how indestructible they seem or invincible they feel, there are always slight gaps, and built by gamers, they know they need to capitalize on those small gaps, and they need to ensure that they can take them in full force. That's going to be the key thing. We talked about Bior, we talked about Rob Wiz, but we're forgetting Will. Just a best of 3 ago against Space Station Gaming, went 53-45 for a plus 18 kill differential. Probably just 8 kill differential. I mean, the dude is insane. When Rob Wiz and Will are online, built by gamers, have no doubt in my mind that they can take this series. But again, it all starts here on Ascent. They're called the Sentinels for a reason, and it all starts with built by gamers here on the attack. This series is starting to come down, and we're gonna see how it plans out.
And it looks almost literally like it was expected, right? Sick is actually going to be able to pick up the breach going into this game off the defender side, and especially with how tight Ascent can actually be in terms of really just one wall really separating an entire attack. Sick is going to be able to open up so much space, and especially because the sites are so small, that Rolling Thunder can cover up so much more space.
Yeah, Sentinels have, I feel like, been bouncing back and forth between their regional competitions. I mean, just a best of 3 ago against Serenity, Zoms was playing the Brimstone, so they've decided to swap things and change things up just a tiny bit. So does this catch built by gamers off? Who knows? I mean, you've got the Breach fault line, the Flashpoint as well that can go through walls, and then you've got the Omen Paranoia. Altogether, it's a strong agent composition for Sentinels. They've been running the same, I feel like, since the beginning of Valorant, except for maybe the exception of having the Sage before on 6. That was still meta. But they've been running this agent composition time after time, and it's proved a very viable agent composition. So we'll have to see. Obviously, Shazam, gotta trust him on the jet. Sinatra with his filthy Sova, we know what he can do on it. But built by gamers, man, this is one heck of a feat they've got to pull off. Ascent is lined up. Gus, what are your predictions? Because I feel like this could go either way. We talked about it earlier as well.
Holy fuck, dude.
This series could come down to the wire on that third map.
No way you're asking me for my prediction purely because, again, I have no idea. What to expect here on Ascent. Sentinels, although it's been maybe 2 or 3 hours, they just got finished losing on this map in the worst way that they have had in months. No, literally, it is the worst loss that they have ever taken on Ascent, and it's against what we've considered as a tier 2 team. Sentinels should not be losing to those types of teams. Nevertheless,
what the fuck is that, bro? Take it.
On Ascent, I don't know who's going to be able to take this one. I think I'll really be able to base my prediction off of this first map, but if I'm a betting man, I'm still saying Sentinels.
Safe bet, I guess, if you will. Sentinels, they're always have something up their sleeves. Early on, though, no real contest over map
Sentinels.
control. I mean,
Sentinels.
Dapper's at least got
Sentinels.
investigated down towards mid. There's again that aggressive cipher that I mentioned in the pregame. Always looking for map control. He loves to take early fights, and Sentinels, that's their game plan. They're a very well coordinated team. Everybody knows that. You saw it against Luminosity in the Winter Championship. We're probably going to see it here again. Built by gamers. Need to be firing on all cylinders. A minute left on the clock.
Sentinels.
Slow paced, paranoia ready for Zoms. Shazam up top as well, able to dash away if he needs. Built by gamers are walking into the jaws of Shazam and Zoms. Cam will get the first contact, and Will is already on the site.
Will already on site, but Shazam up top, essentially acting as the pivot. He has so much line of sight, and he somehow survives. 70 HP on him, has to take down this turret. This turret could have easily killed him. Good reaction at least, but up on top, it's Rob Wiz, and actually Will up in front. But this is massive from Shazam. Emerges from the smoke, and now in comes the retake from Sentinels. And, I mean, just trying to take it back in a sense, because that heaven area is all theirs. BBG, they're not able to get the drop down. Sentinels, they were almost looking a little bit lost over towards that one site. But although I did say retake, it was almost literally the battle between literally both teams going for retakes of just one singular position. BBG, they weren't able to win it out in the end because of one player, but they still have the Stingers back in this next round, Sully.
Yeah, but like gamers will go for the full buy. There's a theme for some reason. Ever since the Stingers have become this god weapon, everyone seems to want to buy it up here. So Built by Gamers empty their pockets, 0 credits across the board. This could be a round that turns the tides, at least for this half, right? Built by Gamers can reverse the round. They can take the second. Sentinels might not be prepared for it. Recon Bolt gives some info. Shock darts to try and force Fiora back. He takes a good chunk of damage. Down to 82 with 14 armor left over. Apologies, shields. There's a tag down towards the bottom of mid. Shazam has been caught spotting, and Will has exploited the gap. He's up towards Market. But Built by Gamers playing a default. He's not going to go off of it, and still we'll get Shazam caught completely off guard.
Oh, there you go again, Sinatra. Trying to get a little bit of a follow-up over towards B main, but can't get anything again. Great peek out from Will early on. Cutting off a little bit of rotation and really slowing it down, considering the fact that Will could still be looking over towards that area. But again, it's just empty pressure. 2 kills over towards the B area of things, but BBG, they've absolutely rotated. I mean, they were ready to really take up A main, and Will is still here to take on the battle. Sick with a good win at least. That keeps things still within 1 player. But Rob Wiz still up top with a massive opportunity, and Zoms is just not looking the right way. 2v4, a Sentinels. Not too much of a chance, but at least in terms of Dapper, we know how this man can really explode. Still very slim. Foe with a good setup too. Don't really know if they're going to go for a peek off of this one, but it's really just going to have to be reactionary in terms of the contact. There goes the paranoia. Both Dapper and his teammate are both discombobulated. They can't make their way in. They have to readjust, and they just have no time, Sully.
Yeah, Sick as well with the Bulldog. I think he's going to be looking to save this gun instead. Foe, not privy to the fact that Sick was going for the peak. They're just trying to keep these players on site, get as many exits as possible, but Dapper knows he's got to run. And same thing here in a second with Sick, and he even goes down to the turret, and Dapper's gone as well. So only 1 player stays alive. And Sentinels, well, it could have been Bulldog and a Spectre walking away, and perhaps a light investment around it. They lose everything in that one, so Built by Gamers, here is their bonus. They're going to buy up light here, and Sentinels don't be looking to make any investments whatsoever. Okay, never
wait
mind.
a minute.
They've gone all in. They've dipped their pockets, and they've gone for it. 4 Stingers and a Phantom.
I was about to say I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
BBG, they were the ones that forced out the buy last round, so if anything, they only survived with 1 player. They make the full reinvestment back into this one. I mean, I don't see why Sentinels wouldn't try to fight it. It's still very early into the game. There's still quite a few rounds to actually go, so maybe this gamble, especially with actually better firepower, one of them even has a rifle, could work out in their favor. So BBG, let's see what they can pull off.
Alarm about to check the close corner. Oh, Shock Dart barely missing out on critical. Rob Wiz, he's been able to lurk up into A so freely, but Dapper does have a cam. He'll get info to players crossing, but I don't think he's got an idea. Rob Wiz is right around the corner, and neither does Zoms. Checks the second, and Rob Wiz with 2 quick, clean frags. And Built by Gamers have the A site. Sick will try and delay, but even he might get exposed. He does get a kill, but he's down in the red. Will looking for clearance and defender spawn. They're swarming the A site, and Sick has to put on a showstopper. And I mean literally, if he wants to close this one out.
ganti agent.
He does have the Phantom, but it's not enough. He was the hero in that round. And
Nggak pernah menang.
well,
Mereka kecil.
Sentinels, they just get
Mereka.
broken apart early on again. They try to go for a little bit of a cheeky battle back into A main with the off angle, but again, BBG, it's well targeted and well won in a sense where really
Banyak
all the
belajar,
1vx's
bro.
for Sentinels just go awry. Watch out for Sinatra though, could be able to get a couple of
Hey,
frags
kid.
to really make things a little bit more expensive for BBG, but they hold on to almost everything they've got, and they can hold on to the SMGs. They don't need to reinvest. Last round was the force from Sentinels. Now, if last round was the bonus, this round is really the bonus.
Yeah, built by gamers, keeping a decent amount of players alive, even picking up the Phantom from Sick. So they're going to be looking pretty. Rob was the only one that had to make the major investment, and he was the one to go down. The rest sticking to what they've got so far. It could even be a bonus if Rob was wanted, if he just wanted to stick to the Blade Storm, but they're looking back on more damage. Save it for another day, for a rainy day, if you will. Good shock dart from Sinatra, though, to get a lot of early damage. They're going to fight for control back off a 6 fault line. Now, Bjorn has to back away. And on the other side, Zoms is contested back towards A main. So the focus needs to be mid. Do they recognize this threat? Yes, they've closed the blast doors. Built by gamers. They've been deterred there. And with Zom's control towards A, there is so much info here that Sentinels can play off of. The camera as well from Dapper's giving them everything. And they've made a quick rotation back if they need.
Give me.
Still a little bit of attention over towards A for Sentinels, and not only just a little bit, but a lot of it. In comes actually a full rotation for the team, and Zoms actually holds up the front line. Rob is with a big one onto 6, still Shazam. I mean, with a classic of all things, still takes one back. BBG down to 1 player. They could be able to get the spike down, but that smoke up in Cat could just be broken apart. It's not exactly a wall, folks. Could be walked on apart, but there you go. There's actually a lockdown going in and could get exposed in the matter of seconds. Sentinels slowly make their way on. Zoms actually gets one back. That Killjoy ulti still going in, but they have to stay on the right outside of it. Bjorn now 1v2. Nobody gets detained. It's still taking up a little bit of time off the take. This is just very confusing in a sense. Bjorn's just anticipating if anyone would actually be able to walk through this. Good bullets on. Gonna go for the spray. There's one trying to punish. Oh, he still gets it, but the defuse goes in strong. And Sentinel somehow, with such a scattered take, and BBG losing out on the first few interactions on site. Well, it all breaks apart, and it whittles over for a Sentinels win.
Yeah, Dapper put the pressure on that smoke. They knew exactly what he needed to do. Ensure that the diffuser did not go down. You said Bjorn was taking off so much time off the spike clock. And well, you were right. So they recognize they need to put pressure on Bjorn to ensure that he can't take down Zoms. You know, Dapper might not even had a chance had he even gotten the trade. So 2-2. Still a buy here for Built by Gamers. Shazam's now picked up the operator. He's looking straight down towards Cat. He is forced to back away because of a recon bolt. Good info here for Built by Gamers. They recognize the threat of Shazam now. But this control, the battle for A main continues. And it looks like for now, Sentinels are taking the worst of it as already Sinatra goes down through a wall to Bjorn.
And Shazam doesn't look like on stopping any of this pressure. Wow, that dash was so far. Somehow Will able to catch Shazam as, I mean, honestly, Shazam, beautiful heads up play. He sees the smoke in the back line, and he was almost able to hide from it, but even then, BBG, the 2-man dub thus far, 2-man advantage in terms of frags, but there's 2 people on site here, Sully, but the util just might not be worth it. The firepower is what's just gonna come up huge, but really, the util is coming out. 6 still on the front lines, and oh man, sick! 2 amazing shots, but even then, Critical and Bjorn with the trades back, and that 2-man advantage does come in huge at the end.
Tricky position for Zoms. No paranoia, or apologies, he does have a paranoia. I meant to say no smokes, but that's been charged up. Turret reveals his positioning, so this gets even harder. Smoke dropped as well, and he's struggling to take down that turret, but he does get it, and I think with the time that turret bought them, he's gonna have to save. Either that or go for some cheeky exits. He's actually sticking around. He's trying to ensure that nobody gets out of this one alive. If he can't live, nobody can. If they can't win the round, it's gonna cost you here. Zom sticking, trying to get something out of this one. Can't get the first kill onto Critical, but they're dancing around Bjorn to go down. There's one to his right, and he doesn't even recognize the threat. 3-2 and Built by Gamers. They walk away with 2 bodies, but Sentinels a huge investment off that operator, and this is again a weird economic situation. Zoms is the only one that's financially stable now.
Yeah, we're not exactly in that position either, where BBG was quote unquote in a bonus earlier. Sentinels, they can't really afford or really rationalize a buy here or a force. So instead now Zoms at the 5K mark, he doesn't exactly know what to do.
Lagging. Lag mulu, bro. Holy fuck, dude.
Oh, yeah, he does. Oh, yes, he does. He tosses down the operator down to Shazam. What on earth is this gamble? Doesn't work out for them.
Oh, Shazam might have a chance. It could have worked out. At least netted one frag there, but Shazam backs away. I don't think they want to give away the fact that he has an op so early on, but you can clearly see Built by Gamers are prepared for it. They recognize Zom had 5K and could have dropped over the operator. Like you said, this is a huge gamble for Sentinels. They should be looking to invest some ultimates around it, right? The Rolling Thunder, the Hunter's Fury, everything to accommodate a retake. Built by Gamers clearing everything out. Shazam on the B site, but Built by Gamers, that threat still looms over them. And they are so scared about it. Critical looking for something. Won't be able to catch Sinatra off guard. They do progress towards Cat. Cam up for Dapper will give him all the information he needs. Smoke's dropped as well by Zoms, and BBG, they have no idea where to go. 45 seconds left. The only control they have is back towards A main. And it's going to be a full-on take, but again, 3 players here. A lockdown, or apologies, not a lockdown, a Rolling Thunder and a Hunter Series for both sides could be the game changer for Sentinels.
Could indeed be. There you go. There's that Rolling Thunder that I mentioned before. It takes up so much space. It actually halts up the take for a little bit more. Double Hunter's Fury going back and forth. And not only that, but a lockdown to cover up the A side. It's pure chaos. And there you go. The solo up of Shazam actually does catch up one. Zom's down with a frenzy. Long range tries to get another one. But now the pistol starts a hound. It's working. Sid gets 2 off of it. It's Shazam with the op. He makes it count with another double. Sentinels, the ego. They shut down BBG again. These rounds are starting to get so unpredictable now, but that is just Sentinels overwhelming BBG.
The delay of a Rolling Thunder, the Hunter Series, to spill disaster for Built by Gamers. The frenzies come up clutch. Built by Gamers, they had nothing going for them. No control towards B except for a single turret detailing whether a push was coming, and they were just playing around Shazam Sentinels. They were ready for his op to sing on the B site. It didn't need to sing. It got all the info, playing it solo, and Built by Gamers, they concede the round. They're going to try a hero rifle of their own, but it's critical with a Vandal instead. Sinatra with an early shock dart to deny input, to deny presence. He does end up backing away, but he's going to look for some more. Yours trying to creep around here. Dapper up top towards Cat. Sees bullets going through. They recognize the force here, and Dapper so aggressive on the Cypher. Has got all this information. A retake of B main and sick. Catching BR off guard. He lines up a second. Trades go in, but it's just one. Critical. 1 versus 3 has 89 HP, but does have the spike. Shazam has his number. He's watching the angle, and had not been for the Owl Drone. A tough clutch to be put into, but critical. Pull the third back here, Gus. 1 versus 2. Doors don't go down, but he is stuck on the site.
Oh, critical. Oh, baby. 1v2. Has a couple of players in his scope. Gonna be able to get one wide swinging, and critical. Looking for the ace, and it doesn't happen by 1 bullet. Dapper, are you kidding me? Survives with 30 HP in Sentinels. I mean, I talked about dodging bullets earlier, but man, oh man, Dapper had to be essentially Neo from the Matrix at that point. BBG, what an opportunity. But at the beginning of things, right, it had to be Sentinels with their hard B main presence. Still Shazam being huge on the operator, gaining an early frag in mid. It all led up to BBG really depending on a miracle. That should never happen, but critical, what an opportunity.
Guys, way too close. Look at the replay. I mean, this was the engagement that I thought would have ended the round. 3v1 and critical. It's Shazam missing that shot. He's able to pick up a third, and it comes so close. He only had the same amount of HP. Like you said, 1 bullet. Literally dodged a bullet there, Dapper. But now, 1 round still separating them. The full buyback for Built by Gamers, at least. Critical with an Owl Drone to scout, but they don't know where Shazam is. He's still so close to the archway, and Shazam is gifted the first frag. Out goes a swing, and Zombs and Dapper are there to collect upon it as the Grim Reapers themselves. 5 versus 3, and there's no punishment up to Sentinels for the early aggression, except that Rob Wiz escaped his way through the A main position, but they do know because of the neural theft now where he belongs.
Belongs up in A, and oh boy, Shazam belongs with the operator. Oh gosh. The 1-2 combo again, and not only that, but Rob Wiz, he did end up getting spotted out by this breach in the back lines. It's Sick, who ends up getting the last kill. So Sentinels, that was as quick and clean as you can get mid-control from BBG. It was attempted, but ended up being completely squandered. I mean, shoutouts to Rob Wiz, right? He was able to get all that info, and honestly, if that mid-take or just that mid-control ended up really going down, this round could have actually been a BBG's, but instead Sentinels holding down and relying on the players that were going a little bit more aggressive. I mean, they get it done. So now BBG, they're stuck on what would be a half buy once again. Critical hide, Glass Cannon Guardian. That's a weird one.
He's in the back. He's got a Hunter Siri. Okay, Zoms. Big sound of Rob Wiz. This is a chaotic round. Zoms still sitting behind the garden. Dapper in the middle of the site. Good for 2. Critical. Glass Cannon Guardian. Is that really a cannon at that point? I've got no idea. But you're up close. He does manage one back. Maybe could pack on a little more damage, but Dapper's there to clean it up. 6-3 Sentinels. They make quick work of the round. They do end up losing 2, but no major investments need to be made. They hold on to the op. I think that's what matters most. Next round, though, Built by Gamers, the buyback. They are down by 3 rounds, and this is the turning point where they need to flip the switch and get back into gear.
They need the momentum back. In this one, it's a little bit more scattered to BBG. They've tried this a couple of times. It hasn't been too successful, but that's mainly because Sentinels, although they're aggressive, it's well targeted in a sense. Especially now that Shazam, he's actually backed off of his mid position, and now he's taken up more of Cat. Oh, that Owl Drone is going to take him away from his spot. That could have actually been a huge lineup for the man, but actually Sinatra on his lonesome on B. Like I mentioned, off the default, you're going to have players all over the place. And actually, Sinatra getting his kill. And not only that, but Shazam baiting out time from that Owl Drone and finding a perfect opportunity onto Critical. Before this round is really getting started, BBG is down to already 3 players, but Will, on his lonesome, able to get 1. And not only that, but this B site is wide open. But A site is where everyone is at.
Right,
45 seconds left.
Built by Gamers, Will has this site. There is no spike for them. And that is a long rotation. Look at Shazam. He's trying to cut it off. Same thing with Dapper. They recognize the fact that Will could be in market, but he has his back turned. He could go down here. Will misses the timing. He's got 3 players around him, and none of them have a single clue, but the trip triggers the turn, and Dapper takes him down. That could be the round unless Rob Wiz can entry cleanly as Zoms sits, waits, 41 HP, but a spray to go down, and Rob Wiz takes him out. 3 versus 2, but they do have this site, and that's what matters most right now.
No, absolutely. Zoms needed that one, but oh no, the spike never went down. It was so close to doing so. Still, now with a little bit more time, they finally do, but Foe, who's discombobulated by the Rolling Thunder. I mean, talk about perfectly timed. Just as that spike was about to take to the very last second, that Rolling Thunder comes in and stops it all. So Sentinels, they take full advantage of the 2 players that are completely off guard. And BBG, they have no chance.
It's the safeguard. When you need an ult or at least something to force a player off, you call upon that Rolling Thunder. Sentinels now, so much pressure applied. I mean, you see how aggressive these players are being. Shazam and Dapper scouting out mid, Zoms to assist. It's a roller coaster for Built by Gamers, and I'd say they've taken a little bit of too many loop-de-loops. Feeling a little bit nauseous. 7-3. Early spray from Sinatra, but he's actually received a couple bullets back his way. Recon bolts exchange, but Built by Gamers, no one comes out the better, no one comes out the worse. And it's Sentinels for now. A decent lock here. Sick prepared with the flashpoints. Watching for now a recon bolt, but out's not to come. They used that earlier. Sick with a flash. trying to delay, but where are these rotations? Dapper's down mid, and Sick is doing what it can to hold them back.
Ooh,
And
nice.
again, with that lockdown up, there's still more space for Sentinels to try to catch up a
Come on,
couple of
Larican.
frags. And even with the lockdown, they're not even taking the site yet. I mean, that's just incredible to me. There's one player in the back of site who's detained at the moment, but he's just waiting for that detainment to go down. I mean, it's the hardest bait on planet Earth, but even then, Critical, he recognizes it, but Sinatra still gets the kill back. Bior now 1v2. Has the Vandal back, looking for a headshot. Still trying to go very aggressive, and good fake off the spike plant. One more player remaining. Both players down to low HP, and Bior! He pulls it off! 1v3, and just like that, BBG, they have a chance. But you gotta think, right, Bior, he tried to take up as much space as possible for this BBG team on site. Had the lockdown. Sentinels still fought it. And you gotta give it up to Sinatra, too. What a great idea.
Yeah, to sit in the back, and Shazam as well, great op shots. It felt like when those two op shots go off for Shazam, it didn't seem like they stood a chance. It felt like Built by Gamers were out of this round. But Bior, you said he takes that space and he uses it to its maximum potential. Gets everything out of his positioning. And Sentinels, a close one, but Built by Gamers. We said he could be one of the best Sentinels, one of the best Killjoys in North America. Bior stands strong in the clutch position. Last round of the half, and Sentinels, they want to extend their lead just a little bit. But Built by Gamers, again, hot on their tail. 4 players stacked up.
Take it.
Have a Neural Theft, a Blade Storm from the shadows for Sentinels. And it's Will who only has the Empress. Rob Wiz watching for a spot, but a bit of an elevated position. They need a pick to go off of this one. They could just be walking in blind. And there are 3 players here. Fault line to hold them back. Aftershock and flashpoints as well. Built by Gamers. There's going to be a plethora of utility waiting for them. So they opt to cancel. But Bior, can he get anything out of this one?
For BBG fans, I would hope so, because he's in such a weird position. But no, he can't. Dapper gets him back, and not only that, but the neural threat goes big. Ultimately, the worst case scenario for Bior. Now, in they go, actually. Sentinels, they've almost full rotated here on site. Sinatra somehow able to get a massive kill through the wall. And now Sick, he's the one really holding things back. Shazam spots out one, trying to fly on away. But instead now, Rob Wiz with a classic.
Hunter.
And literally zero hope as Sick, after the 2K on site, holds W. And he takes down BBG one last time for the half. 8-4 going into the second. And BBG, they've gotten no momentum under their belts. Almost all of their rounds coming in scattered off of a streak for Sentinels.
Sentinels look good on the defense, but now we got to go back to this play. Big shot from Dapper, and the Swiss Army knife of Sick pivoting around. Whenever his team needs him to play any position, he comes up huge. Sentinels, big play from Sick to close it out 8-4, but like you said, no momentum here for Built by Gamers. This was a map that they looked very good on so far. Keep in mind, their strongest side is the defense. This is where they need to turn up. The pistol round needs to come big. I think a 62% win rate on the defensive side, but Sentinels, based on the buy, they're looking to get aggressive. Shazam with light armor and a Frenzy. They take it slow, despite the Frenzy guns they've got. Built by Gamers. How did they adjust? So much utility here by Bior on the A site to try and lock it down.
Take it.
It is Rob Wiz up close to make the first contact, but Flash to go in, allowing Shazam to swing. There's more to come with a Cypher Cage down, and I think instantly Built by Gamers recognize they are going to be playing retake here, but these Nanostorms can do so much damage as Shazam finds coverage under Heaven. That'll delay the spike plant as Will's able to drop it, and BBG, because of Nanostorms, can keep this one going.
Ooh, Sick. This could be big. Fault line down the line.
They don't even know about Bior.
No, they have zero clue about Bior. Bior still just vibing. I mean, it's almost unbelievable that he's still in there. Could be the linchpin, but Shazam just trying to make up as much space as possible. In goes Foe, but even then, finally emerging from their positions. Bior wasn't able to get any kills, but he definitely makes up space. Sick gets one back. Same thing with Will. Same thing with Sinatra. And now on the 1v1, Sinatra anticipates the pick from Will off of a recon bolt. I mean, that was as last second as you can get in Sentinels. Even off of that setup from BBG, even off of the man advantage, they still take it back.
It's such a tricky position if you're Will, because you see that recon vault and you recognize, I have to swing, but I'm not there in time. He's going to have the better positioning off the tick, and gives at least Sinatra just a couple of seconds extra that he needs to figure out what's going on. Built by Gamers, second round 4 spy, just like we saw in the prior where they were able to convert. Can they do it here again? You talked about momentum. Well, this would be a momentous round for them in this game, at least in map number 1. Already Will taking a deep position in B main. Orjo looks to clear but doesn't get anything. There it is. Will able to get one. Overhealed now as Foe trades it out. They're still up a man in a 3v4, and Shazam has taken a heap of damage. That's Built by Gamers. They somehow have the advantage with the scrappy guns they've gone into.
Well, in they go. Rob Wiz is actually still awaiting up in heaven with only a classic, but even then, Sentinels taking on the site back. BBG almost a full rotation already. You have Zoms in a really important position at this point, especially with Cap being more or less open. Could still be that pivot for the spike going in later, but Shazam is really gonna have to be the instigator, and indeed he is able to get one. But even then, Rob Wiz with a trade back. Sick still has the fault line, waiting up for that spike to still get pinged, and indeed he gets it. Zoms is still in the same position. Critical is still defusing, but Sick right through the smoke gets it. Now Zoms 1v2, waiting up for another one. 15 HP on both. Rob Wiz gets it back. And if I'm not mistaken, Spike is down to half, and he has more than enough time. Sentinels pulled this off so many times in the first half, but BBG, they get one back on an eco round.
Dude, Rob Wiz has such a gamble there. He knows that he's 1 HP. He knows Zoms is 1 HP. You either jump, you either get the kill, or Zoms expects it and you go down. Such a gamble by Rob Wiz, but it pays off. It catches Zoms off guard. And Built by Gamers, they're 2 for 2 in second round conversions despite losing the pistol. This is amazing. Sentinels, there's that momentum, but here's the same buy to follow. A Phantom for Sick and 4 Stingers bought up. We saw what they could do, but Built by Gamers in the first half were able to take it from them. Is it going to be the same thing here with Sentinels aggressive towards A main? There's the swing. Rob Wiz with 1. Has to back away off the dash, and they look to reset here as Sentinels are slowed down with Dapper on a lurk.
Sinatra tries to force out the scenario himself, but it's really Bior to actually get 2 frags. Rob was with 1, and again, no matter what Sentinels actually tried to pull out in that round, it all just came down to the A main interactions. That's massive from BBG. Because for really these last 2 rounds, Sentinels, they've almost been willing to walk through these sites relatively willy-nilly, just carefree. BBG with a hard hold early on, it's going to be flawless. Their rifles, they make them count. And now they're just going to be able to save everything into the next round. This is a true bonus.
Yeah, Sentinels. First half holds true. Built by Gamers take the third after converting the second. Now Sentinels here, like you said, they don't really have much, so this is their true bonus. Built by Gamers. Not a lot at stake here. But of course, Sentinels with a couple clean shots, you never know what could happen. So the risk factor is still prevalent. Shazam could use the Blade Storm if he wants to. Sick with a Rolling Thunder if they want to go for an exec. Depending on what kills they find early on, though. That's the key thing. I don't think they're going to be looking to invest the Rolling Thunder, at least in particular. They can't get a good start. If they can't get the ground running, or hit the ground running, apologies, as Rob was hoping to delay that push out towards middle. Well, there they go. Hit the ground running indeed. First shot with the Blade Storm, and it's a kill. 4v5 Sentinels. This could be a call for a Rolling Thunder now.
And that's yet another one of those effects that Sentinels, they've been, again, very patient early round throughout really the entire game. And they take on that same mindset into the attacking side where really it's just Shazam waiting out on an opportunity for someone to peek out over towards Cat. And he fully takes it to his advantage. But wow, Bior, you gotta be kidding me with that sort of patience in a sense. Still able to get that kill, but Dapper with a penalty gets one back. But Foe! The Stinger comes out massive, lines him up. 1, 2, 3 for him. But now Shazam, 1v2 with the knives out. Gonna have to get this last one at least. But Critical gets it back. Foe, are you joking me?
3 kills off a Stinger, and they lose 3. It doesn't matter though, Gus, because you know what that round was? It was just their bonus. They line themselves up. Look at the replay. They all walk in quick succession, full blinded
Sheesh.
off of foe's paranoia. It was picture perfect for him. And he gets it done. Oh my God, Built by Gamers. They're bringing this one close. That was their bonus. And here's their one extra. They've got an operator for Rob Wiz now. And he might just get a couple of picks because they're walking right into B. Link's good tag though from
Ooh.
Dapper. Does force him away. And that will give Sentinels control of mid at least for now.
Yeah, no, that's big. Especially like you mentioned, Rob Wiz in such an important position. Could have been able to actually clear out a little bit more, but that owl drone actually spotting out one over towards... Oh no, still over towards the garage, but Shazam fully has the angle and he still wants to fight this. It's a little bit weird, but Market is fully in the target of Shazam. Great communication. Flash right into a dash. But two players here on this site, and Will has the Empress of Darkness out, looking to explode, but it's not going to happen. Shazam takes him down. Zoms gets a kill in the back of sight. That is clean, and that is clinical for Sentinels.
Rob Wiz on a flank. He could get something. Dapper, no. Missed shot. Knives out. And this is a threat. There are two players here. Can he get the first? Nothing for him. Bior on the run. Tail tucked between his legs. It's a 10th round for Sentinels, but Bior is not going down without a fight. Decent exits. That's all they are. He even gets the lockdowns charged up, and there's not more to come. Sentinels walk away confidently with 3. Bior did what he could, but Built by Gamers, they can't find the 8th, and Sentinels on double digits. That is going to sting, but they do have enough credits, however. Rob Wiz with the only major investment in the last is the one that's going to have to suffer, but the buy still definitely doable with critical Odin. See what he can get towards B main. And with Rob Wiz having to now work with a Vandal, shouldn't be too much of an issue for them. As Sentinels 3 rounds away from taking map 1. Can they keep on the pressure?
Again, interesting stuff because BBG, they had a good early setup, but it's just broken apart again. But oh wow,
Oh no, oh no.
Okay, Will, I was about to say, the recon dart goes out, and instead of, you know, falling to it and essentially just wanting to take on the battle, he actually wants to Hunter's Fury back over towards B. But again, it's that weird scenario where really just the most off-angle things or just the most off-kilter things can count as a fake, and indeed it did. Sentinels are now fully onto this A site, but oh boy, the Killjoy ulti that we saw getting charged up last round by Bior is finally coming out to play, and well, now the rest of Sentinels, they all have to back out over towards that A site. BBG, they're all here. They're waiting out for a couple of smokes. That jet smoke is going to take just a little bit to dissipate, but they're still fighting. Oh my!
They're detained, all
wow,
3.
Are you kidding me? So many detainments off of just one go. Now Bior is able to get 4. What? Sentinels, they wanted to fight that as early as possible. I mean, imagine if they had the Hunter's Fury at the very end of things, but again, that's just semantics. The lockdown goes in. You would expect Sentinels to just stay away from it and not fight, but instead they all get detained. Easy frags for Bior.
That's insane. They all get stuck. Last second, 3 detained. That is such an awkward position. The lockdown, I guess, from Bior. Those exits in the last didn't go for nothing. And he gets 4 here. He's almost back to another lockdown. Within 2 rounds, he could have 2 lockdowns. Sentinels were completely caught off guard. And now Built by Gamers, momentum back in their side. The question was, could Sentinels keep the pressure? Well, no, they couldn't. 10-8, and Built by Gamers are back into this game.
Yeah, they sure are. In the weirdest way possible. Sentinels, I mean, they've been so clinical off those takes, and I was just like, oh, maybe they can continue things. But instead at this point, Rob Wiz, oh man, what a spot. Not only that, but he was the first contact too, but still an even better angle. Bior still was sitting up towards the A site, able to get 1, but that's a quick trade that they absolutely needed. Watch out though, there is a teleport, and right as I say it, there it goes for Zoms. Zoms is going to be able to get the B plant, but not only that, but watch out. Sick is on the flank. Sick has such an important angle. He can catch 1 or 2 players. Gonna be able to get 1. It's a firing range for him. Tippity tapping away. Able to get 3 out of it. Oh my lord, Sick. BBG, they had all the momentum in the round. They win out the initial interactions. Sentinel seems like they were done over towards that A site, but instead the teleport goes over and nobody clears cats. Sick is just having it for free.
It's back-to-back rounds with 2 solo plays. Bior's insane lockdown play, and then 6 insane lurk. He's having a game and a half right now, 23 and 14. The dude is on one as breach. This Sentinels roster, it feels like there's been no dip in performance. Maybe Sinatra, but even then, everyone is playing their part. His support has been insane. And Built by Gamers on the verge of defeat possibly with this round loss. Who knows? Now we'll try to get info, but there are 4 players waiting, and are they ready? Paranoia out, contacts are made, swings go in, and they go blow for blow. 3 versus 2, and Bior's got a lockdown off of just 1 single kill. Sentinels scamper away from the A site, and critical is what awaits them. If he can get the tip, but he taps, like you said, that sick had, this round could be over, but they don't cross. They readjust back to Cat. There is so much utility from Bior waiting for them here. Alarm bots, nanostorms. It's going to be hell for Sentinels as they walk on in.
Indeed it is. There you go, folks. Not only that, but the alarm bot takes it up, and Foe is there. Wow, Bior. Now, what a readout. What a setup. EBG in that round. They were the ones with the full control. And now Sentinels. Not the best of positions, right? I mean, it almost seems like 5 minutes ago we had Bior on his own lockdown. Oh wait, it was about 5 minutes ago. I mean, he's been exploding this map. 21 kills for Bior on the killjoy of all characters. I mean, that's huge. And now Sentinels, they could start to bait out a little bit more off of this one. It is 11-9. They're really just desperate to get that elusive 12th and 13th rounds. They're gonna have to work at it. It isn't Eco and BBG. They're the ones getting tantalizingly close.
Yeah, Rob Wiz waiting, recognizing that Apper probably threw up a cam, took a little bit of a late peek. Couldn't unfortunately catch anybody. Now Sentinels. Zoms has worked his way up in market. He needs to be so good on this lurk. Rob Wiz sees nothing. These are the adjustments Sentinels are trying to adapt, but BBG right on back again. This lockdown. You see the position Bior has. If he goes down, Sentinels could take the round, but they are banking on this lockdown. They need Bior to stay alive, and it's quiet. Sentinels, 55 seconds, so much control everywhere on this map. They're right on the doorstep of Catwalk. They're literally in market knocking on B. They got utility and ults to do it as well. Zom's looking for anything. Nothing spotted. He's the one player. 1 knife left over as Shazam is elected to use it instead for the turret, and Rob Wiz, he's expecting him, and Shazam, tricky position to be in with only 1 blade left in his blade store.
Oh wait, he does have Rob Wiz at a headshot angle, but I think he ended up using it.
Spike planted.
Yeah, I think he ended up using it off the first contact too. So unfortunate, right? But I was actually expecting a little bit something crazy from him. But wow, okay, Bior actually goes for the lockdown in that same position, and not only that, but the Rolling Thunder is gonna cover them up. Double over towards Cat. That's a beautiful takedown of the lockdown by Sentinels. Only 1 frag back for them though.
Shazam?
Not only that, but Rob Wiz is starting to help. Shazam, he was in the back of sight for the longest time. Still a 2-on-3 though. It's the pistols that help to hold things back, but it's actually the stinger from Dapper to get himself 2 kills. Oh no, 1v1, low HP. No way, Dapper takes this. He does. Sentinels off the eco. BBG, they get completely wiped over towards Cat. They make their way on site. Shazam on the frenzy. Dapper on the stinger of all things. And BBG gets shut down again. How many times are we going to see an eco round from either one of these teams? How many times are we going to see an eco from Sentinels?
Back to back to back, insane rounds. First first Bior, and then Dapper, and then Sick, sitting in the back. What an insane round. I mean, Sentinels. This is one heck of a game. The last few rounds have been nothing but amazing. Rob Wiz aggressive down towards A main. Oh my god, this is intense now. Dapper dropping a sight for Cage, but look at these tags. So much damage done. 1 off of the nanostorm. It's a flip block, and again, Built by Gamers. It's a 5v3. Dapper's trying to salvage something, but just some way. Built by Gamers battle their way back. A Hunter's Fury and then a Nanostorm. All they need, and Shazam revealed. This is so tricky, but Dapper in alert. This is big. He's got 1. Gate goes down, and now just down to 4 for Built by Gamers, but Dapper ready. Trip goes up. He's got 3 in his sights. Can he get anything? Nothing. 2v4, and it's Sick and Shazam, the top fraggers, to try and clutch this out.
Putting up in a crossfire too, and goes the first contact as foe. Now it's just Shazam down to a 1-on-4, and he's realistically in the worst spot possible for a multi-man retake. So there you go, BBG. They dodged the 13th round, and yeah, like you mentioned, I actually do have to correct myself. Earlier I said Dapper when Sentinel was actually sick at the end of that round with a stinger, but even then, Dapper just the round before went absolutely massive, but in this round it was critical really to open up the space. I mentioned that this guy was a really good consistent fragger in a sense, but we haven't seen too much of him in terms of really highlight plays or something of the sort. But that Hunter's Fury was really what made the round. It's the util for really the entirety of BBG that opens things up. But I mean, if we're talking about util, we're talking about frags, Bior has been the one to control all sorts of tempo in this game thus far.
Yeah, his utility has been massive for Built by Gamers. It's been a game changer for them, and I think it was ultimately keeping them in this game. A couple players, one charge off the ult, in particular Sinatra. Dapper scrapes away with 4 HP, barely standing and lucky to get out of that situation alive. Will be main control assumed here by Built by Gamers, and Sentinels on the back foot. They've got to make this rotation. They understand a coordinated hit is needed, right? They have a Hunter Stream for Sinatra. Maybe they can use that in some fashion. Built by Gamers. Players are ready to rotate. Will not too far off. He's controlling mid, ensuring no late lurks from Dapper. Recon bolts. Straight to the top to clear out Spike, but there is a big shock dart sick to capitalize. Clearing out the back site, Sinatra gets nothing. The third shot, nothing more. And now Sentinels with the first kill have cleared out the site, and it leaves Built by Gamers in a 4v5 retake for the game and a possible 24th round.
Possibly so, but it's tough for BBG, especially off that little peek there. Yeah, we got a hint of it. Dapper from behind with the Zinger, 4 HP. He might have just put the dagger into BBG. And now in comes Sinatra with another SMG. Well, there you go. Will now, 1v3. These players aren't approaching him. It's just chunking time off the clock. Will has to make this perfect and right on time. These last two players, they're not peeking for a reason. Will gets the perfect pre-fire, but Shazam finishes it off. And just like that, Sentinels, they win out the map 13-10.
Exactly what you wanted for Sentinels to get it going after a 13-5 loss against Serenity. It seemed like they were a little bit shaky on Ascent, but this was nothing of the sort. They looked good on both sides. Built by Gamers, though, they brought the heat, they brought the fire, and they looked good as well. Congratulations, Sentinels.
Bring it around town. Don't be shy. Yes, come on. Perfect. Now, chat. Here. Oh, still waiting. You got a lot of time now. But don't you worry. Nothing needs to be worried about here. We're gonna go back to some of that jet silver. Make a little circle right here. Fill it in. Fill that bad boy right up. Then and draw a perfect little line across. Not too.
A little bit there without even meaning to. 6-2's the score. T1 going, as you mentioned, right down to the last bullets there. And we've seen it so many times, and that is the thing with the retake situation. 5 on 5, 5 players set up, poised and ready for you to come in. Not ideal.
I'll have
I really feel that an entry frag, maybe going for a little bit more aggression would pay off here for T1.
Sounds amazing.
We'll see just another technical pause that's coming through. We've seen quite a few of those today. I don't think we ever had any of them before yesterday or even previously in the other BO3s, but things are getting tense. Things are coming right down to that wire, and that pressure is definitely sinking in for both teams.
It is, because you know you're up against, you've got a door in front of you. It says this door will take you out of top 16, and both teams, both IGLs, have got their hand on the handle. They're waiting to turn it and just get through to the next stage and have that breath of fresh air. Whew, we made it, boys, but not yet. Right now, though, Ambox, they've got to be feeling closer to that door than T1.
Yeah, this is really just becoming a totally different game. In Ambox, we saw what they did on map number 1, and it just looked like, you know, domination and high performance, and that's exactly what we're seeing here right now.
not giving a chance there for T1 to get themselves back into these rounds. And retakes, yeah, I understand that. That is a play style. You've got to switch that play style if it's not working. And right at this moment, the retakes, they're too much to handle here for T1. Aim on point, seems super crisp. Frags, but trade outs in these post-plant situations and Box are playing on another level.
Yeah, we've really seen Spider, really flourish very well so far in this best of 3. So we'll have to see if he can provide a little bit more for his team. Very slow round once again from Ambox. Brack's going to be playing a little bit more aggressive inside of Wine. So he's going to be holding a very tight angle with that operator, so he allows his teammates to fall back and put a little bit more pressure towards mid and now B. And Ambox, you can see they are putting their attention, a little bit of interest towards this B execute potentially. But it doesn't mean they need to, but Android. Again, the big nuisance against T1. Gets that opening exchange, takes down the Sentinel. And now they're going to be able to push on through. It might be Brax. And also even Sova that needs to find this opening. Poach going to be using that drone, getting that information. Spots the one, makes the connection with the dart as well.
The dart's going to be deadly. Hunter's Fury coming through. Poach trying his best here to land a frag. Not able to finish that one. 5 versus 3 though. Spikes down Brax yet again. Up in his hand.
Welcome on back, folks. It is Valorant Challengers #1, brought to you by Nerd Street Gamers, and we're starting on map 2 between BBG and Sentinels in just a little bit. My name is Upmind, joined here by Sully, and map #1, Sentinels came back into play, but BBG still pull up a fight.
Yeah, they were very, very close behind them. It was 13-10. I mean, built by gamers. There was a lot of power in Bior's Killjoy. We mentioned that he is probably one of the best killjoys in North America, and I feel like he really did prove it there. I mean, look back at this highlight reel. There were so many insane plays. Shazam was popping off, but someone that I feel like we didn't give enough love, Sick in particular, looked fantastic throughout the entire game. I mean, he was putting the team on his back with his fault lines, with his flashes. I mean, he was playing the support role and the fragging role at the same time. Sick, the Swiss Army knife many people regard him as. He was insane, but here again is BR popping off when Built by Gamers needed it the most. Now, moving into map number 2, our second map is Haven. It's Sentinels map pick. We got the kind of the worry map out of the way. After a 13-5 loss against Serenity, Sentinels were refreshed. They look ready to go on ascent against Built by Gamers. But now Haven is their map pick, and they are looking to close it out into a fashion. But Built by Gamers, they're no slumps when it comes to Haven. They as well have a very good track record, 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they have a very, very strong vengeance I can feel against Sentinels to bring us to a third.
I mean, that's the hope for the BBG fans in a sense. Purely because, again, with a 61% map win rate and honestly just a very good streak thus far. I mean, we were talking about BBG a whole lot more, I think a week or two ago, when we were talking about the Complexity Tournament, when we were talking about Winter Championships. Yeah. But this is a whole other ball game in a sense. Although Sentinels is still, it was still in that Winter Championships tournament, this is worth a whole lot more. Folks, if this hasn't been mentioned enough, the winner of this set not only moves on into the quarterfinals of Challengers Open, but they move on into the closed qualifier coming up next week. So if anything, both of these two teams, they want a spot ASAP to secure their spot in the closed qualifiers, to put them one step closer into Masters. And not only that, but BBG, yeah, they had their good performances. Yeah, they had BR. You mentioned Sick. Sick top fragging the server. If I'm not mistaken, he had 26 kills on top of everyone at that point. Shazam still ended up going big at 22 kills for himself. But man, oh man, this Sentinels team, although they ended up taking on a pretty big upset on their best map, it's still not done. They still have the momentum. They still have their mentality ready and raring to go. And on Haven, they have to lock things down. They have to keep things defensively steady because BBG, if I'm not mistaken, for their first half, I expect a little bit of an explosion of points.
Yeah, Built by Gamers, historically, Will and Rob Wiz, this is their map that they always shine on. Will has always been so good at creating space on Haven, but on the flip side, Sick is just as good. He is an animal on this map. He's no longer on the breach. He's on the Duelist. Phoenix is his name, and he is looking for some blood. Built by Gamers, we know they've got to go hard. We need BR to step up again. Will and Rob Wiz had a lights-out performance, but to compare, BR seemed to be ahead above everybody. His Killjoy utility was fantastic, and there were so many opportunities here on Haven. Now, on the other side, we know Dapper to be aggressive. We've seen the plays he wanted to create. Is that the same thing here on Haven? They will be starting the attack Sentinels, so everything goes. They need a fresh start. They need a good start. And the same thing for Built by Gamers. It's all about who can get the momentum early on. We've seen how momentum-based they can be. When Built by Gamers were down in the dumps, a single round spun it around and brought themselves back into that game.
Ladies and gentlemen, Haven, the three-sided map, the map where you'll see a lot of individual plays. Some players, they have to play on their own. They have to become the heroes on their lonesome. But that's where the team play comes in. Especially on defense, you need that teamwork. You need that communication to be completely on point. And we're going to see a whole lot of it from Sentinels. But early on for BBG, we've seen so many maps, we've seen so many games where on Haven, they decided simply in one half.
Sentinels on the attack for frenzies. They love their frenzies. They're going to try and get aggressive. Cage goes up. They've got early control, but Built by Gamers on a fast rotation. Foe needs to get a kill here. He can't go down without a fight, and he does. He gets at least a good chunk of damage off of Zoms. Recon Bolt to clear. Paranoia to take out the back site, and Sentinels have the site for the taking. Spike will go down, but the retake commences with this kill.
Again, good start from Rob Wiz, but even then, look at that molly from Will. That is huge. BR still helping out. Now only two players remaining. Dapper taking one down like a clay pigeon. Critical up in the air, couldn't find any space. So instead now with the spike not even down, Dapper is actually fighting this one out. Oh my, eyes are on Sick, but even then Dapper gets nothing out of it. Rob Wiz takes him down, still a 1v2. Sick with 86 HP, and it's slowly going down to the turrets. That's a feels bad and a half. He still has the frenzy, and it's low on bullets. These players are essentially just waiting for him to peek out. BBG, they have him at the palm of their hands, but even then, the HP is still very low in each and every one of them. An alarm bot in front too. That's where things can get a little bit more spicy too. He can't make his way in. But how does Rob Wiz even want to approach the scenario? But no way! The wide swing and Sick more than ready for it. The 1v2, the man, the myth, the legend. It is Sick.
Legend,
Lines them both up. You said they were on low HP, but the second, that's pure reaction shots. Here's the replay, and we get a second look. Sick. It was a 1v3 essentially. This first shot is okay, we understand, but the second, it's nothing more than pure reaction. 6 bullets, 10 in total, and he only needed 3. Sick comes up clutch for Sentinels. And my God, Built by Gamers, that was a gimme round in the 2v1. But they ended up dropping it. Sick picks up the Phantom, and well-deserved as well. Bior to get aggressive, though. Anything, it's Shazam who struggles just a little bit to keep Dapper alive. Does end up going down a 1-for-1 trade, an exchange map control, but Sentinels, they assume all of A, and Built by Gamers, a little bit of a stack towards B. 2 players, Will ready for a swing, and then you've got Rob Wiz not too far off, but Sick was ready for the peak.
Good heads-up play by really both players from Sentinels, opening things up throughout the map.
Oh, nice.
And now BBG. Oh boy. Shazam takes down Rob Wiz. One immediately takes up that same position. You have Foe now trying to help out, knowing that there's at least one over towards their spawn. But they actually completely evade it. Shazam, he can walk on by almost easy peasy without this wide swing that actually goes down, and they have no info. BBG has 0 info. The spike is going to go down on C, and only now that they realize it, Shazam has a big opportunity for a couple of frags. He's actually watching the crossover in mid. Gonna be able to catch one with a little bit of damage, but Critical gets the return frag back. Now it's a 2-on-3. There's one in snipers, and that's a good swing from Sinatra. One last probably remaining. It's going to be Critical. Wouldn't be surprised if he actually saves this one up going into the next round. Yeah, this is just an awkward scenario. Sentinels, it's almost impossible that they end up losing out this one, but they gotta hold on for the exit frags more than anything.
A little bit of a costly round there for Sentinels, losing 3 players. Not a full bonus going into the next. They will have to make minimal reinvestments, but I doubt they're going to dig too deep into that wallet. Spectres here are there. Stingers are combinated. Apper picking up the Bulldog. And yep, not too big of an investment. I think Sam's the only one that really dug deep. 200 credits left over. Built by Gamers. A save round because of the Force. They have Sheriffs. And this one again, about damage. See how many guns they can pull away. Hurt Sentinels where it matters most economically. And you could have a stronger buy going into the next. Sinatra with an early swing. Turret makes the contact, but nothing else to come. Sentinels playing careful and cautious. Whereas Built by Gamers putting a lot of pressure down towards mid. And even Critical here in a critical position. I think spotting one out with the Sheriff, but Zoms takes him out. It's hectic here for Sentinels, but they're dealing with the pressure very, very well.
Oh, they sure are. BBG, they put a whole lot of bodies over towards that front line, but they get nothing out of it. So instead now Sentinels, literally just in snipers, they collect on the players one by one as they peek on. And now Foe, only 67 HP, is going to get taken down right through the wall too by Zoms, and Will tries to hold things back. That's flawless. Sentinels, they hold on to everything they got.
And no stress whatsoever. Now here's their bonus. Sentinels starting to build up that economy. That's a fast play. Sick does have the run it back, so we can look for a lot of info. Run it down garage, run it up long, whatever his team needs right now. Piggyback off of Paranoia. But Built by Gamers, the buyback. Rob Wiz has got the operator. He's sitting in the back B, or apologies, the top. I think the pallet it is in the back of B. So Sentinels, they're going to give up info that they're not contesting mid. Now with Critical peeking down garage as well into grass. It's an owl drone. It does look like this is where Sick could use that run it back. A Paranoia to the right side of sight would be huge. And here comes the run it back. Paranoias go in and Sick caught full blind. They are going to be stuck for a little bit, but Sick is putting on pressure and Rob Wiz removes him.
still very much pivotal, but BBG, they have no control this side at all, and they have no ultis to use either.
Oh.
So instead, now Sentinels, they can hold on to their positions, but what on earth? Sinatra actually wants to go up in front, and now BBG, they have a couple of frags back. Critical gets one. Still two over towards the long area, one on the front line. Shazam goes down. Still Zom's trying to help out, and I didn't expect this at all, but BBG, fully flawless. Sentinels, they had some pretty good spots for that post plant, but BBG, through brute force and a little bit of util, they make their way on, and they make it successful. Not only successful, but flawless. 1-3.
Yeah, it felt like for, at least in the majority of their retakes, Sentinels had good post-plant positions, but players got too aggressive. No support from the players out long. Dapper as well was caught a little bit late because he had to watch the flank initially. So Sentinels, they tried to do a 1vx's. I mean, you had a 5-on-5 going into it. You had good map control, good site control. All you needed to do there was back away, but they got a little bit too eager. Built by gamers, they punished them for that. They put themselves on the board. Critical and Bior, one charge off of their ultimates. Early recon bolt. That is a cheeky one to get info, and they're going to get plenty of it, but Rob Wiz can't take the fight. Will be pushed back. Does run it back will be canceled. Sentinels, they take the space, and they are looking for the A site. Two players revealed. They are trying to clear it up. Built by gamers, these players might need to concede. If Rob Wiz can't get anything, it becomes a retake instantly.
Rob Wiz does at least take down one, though, but he needs a whole lot of help. There's one in heaven with a good angle, too. But, oh, okay, Rob Wiz just wants to fight this. Has the knife for a reason, but Sick in a great position. Could be able to take that in a second, but Will gets it back. 3v3 now. Sully has at least now BBG. They can take their time, but there's one actually spotted over towards mid.
Ooh, Bior able to catch Dapper off. You mentioned catching him out towards mid. He was trying to play that lure, cut the rotations off. Doesn't work out. They will get the plant down. Shock Dart's don't do anything, but a lockdown, he's going to use it. That's a huge investment by Bjorn, a 2v3, but it's one that's needed. Low HP for critical, but Shazam in the heavens. You're at a disadvantage, and you need to even things out. But he goes down. Zoms, they know where he is, cornered like a rat. There are only so many positions he can be playing, and Smoke's dropped. Critical sees the barrel, but who wins the fight? Zoms dancing around, but he doesn't have a line of sight on the spike, and Foe pushing the issue. Zoms taken out, and Built by Gamers with a second round on the board. Sentinels starting to crumble here early on in the attack, but it's only 5 rounds in. They do have credits to buy. Same thing with BBG as they look to build their own momentum.
Yeah, that spike was in a little bit of a tight spot, almost a poor position even. If they had checked that, Bior was close to the lockdown or would even use it. I mean, that of course requires a lot of foresight, but Sentinels, it's going to be small interactions like that that end up breaking apart their attack. They did have Dapper over towards mid, and if he wasn't spotted, I mean, that would have been massive. That would have opened up the entire round with a double kill over towards the B side. But instead now, this one's a classic. Critical, actually, with an early Hunter's Fury. Does get a little bit of damage, but no more than that. No kills in his favor. But Rob Wiz with a flick. Firing range for him again. It's like he's just in warm-up. Players are just walking into his crosshairs, and he gets himself a second flick. Could he make it a third? Flash is going to go out, but he's still waiting for the opportunity. Sick is going to end up getting the kill, and that's where discipline could come in, Sully. He did get a little bit ballsy with it. Maybe a little bit too ball hoggy. Just wanted to get a couple of kills. But even then, Sentinels still has 3 players. BBG at the man advantage, and with a little bit of usage of util and an ulti early on, BBG is still vibing and waiting for Sentinel's next move.
Double smoke down. I think that's actually from Foe in the back, so that's interesting. But a Hunter's Fury, nothing connecting there. 2 players, and well, Sinatra does net himself one. Struggling to get the frag. Bior will be punished by Sick with a quick look on up. Now it's Will. 1 versus 3, and because it's his own hot hands, Sick can push on through. So Will, I don't know if he's going to be ready for the swing, looking the wrong way. They're going to meet in the smoke, and Sick gets 4. Run it back, charged up, and Sentinels find themselves the 4th. Built by Gamers now. Around that should have been theirs. Things considered, will be punished. Now Rob Wiz, what is the investment to? Because he wants to go for the operator. He's going to be severely broke.
I mean, again, like I mentioned before, that this round for BBG, it was surely in their control. I mean, especially with the early frags from Rob Wiz, but what can you do, right? Sick.
Yeah.
So nuts. Triple at the end off of the plant, or at least off of the take for Sentinels. And not only that, but that Hunter's Fury ended up taking up so much space. BBG had read it out well too. They had, if I'm not mistaken, 2 players at around that C area. So Sentinels at this point, man, oh man, they could just keep on running in, but that flash from Sick doesn't come out at the right time, and it's instead now Sentinels, they're without 1 less ulti, but they do have some good damage, but a whole lot of time is getting chunked off the clock in a sense, because now Critical is here to try to help out. Wide flash though, Critical goes down to Zombs, and not only that, but there's 1 still low on HP and snipers. That neural threat gets thrown out like a frisbee, and at this point BBG is still fighting for Garage.
4v3, Sentinels come back with the advantage. Sinatra looking around, but they don't have garage control. You're 100% right. They've got nothing there, but Sinatra turns nothing into something with 2. It's just Rob Wiz now in a 1v4. No chance he could pull this one off, I think. Maybe a couple of exits if he's lucky, but this is a 5th guaranteed, I think, for Sentinels.
No shot, right? Absolutely. Shazam takes him down. At best, he would have been able to pick up a rifle and potentially try to save that one out. But Sentinels, they maintain things very clean. This BBG, I mean, really, they didn't have too much to actually work with in that last round. Going into this one, however, they have the rifles, and well, not only that, but look at the A site. They actually want to stack up 3 in that area.
Yeah, they're looking for early control. I think Will is maybe going to try and contest this ult tour with a blaze wall going up. He can get the run it back. And Rob Wiz, well, he loves this position. We saw what he did. 3K, easy peasy. See if he can get a little bit more. And Foe will even use a paranoia to ensure that Will doesn't get, I think, caught out here if they need to. If he feels contact, the paranoia will come out. But Will, he gets his ult online. The paranoia doesn't come in time. And Rob Wiz holding this angle, but all he needs is a pixel. He sees him, and he goes down. 3v4, Sick already tagged up. Foe in the back lines. Cross. It is a lockdown here as a dash goes in. And Rob Wiz, from where? 2 versus 4 off of an insane shot. And Sentinels are broken down as Bior comes for the flank. Sick left in the clutch, but Rob Wiz does it again.
Dude, that was point blank. That dash went right into the site. And not only that, but right into the smoke. So Rob Wiz had almost no clue, and he did it blindly. I mean, 2 shots essentially back through cover. We'll barely see it. You see the dash in, and 0 clue, right? He just saw the dash in, and I mean, he took a shot in the dark, and he took it all the way to the bank. Now, ladies and gentlemen, BBG off of yet another big round from Rob Wiz. Well, they have a chance with an op in his hands. I think there's always a chance, really.
Turret up for the contact. Owl drone down towards C. They've got so much info here built by Gamers. Critical sees nothing. Rob Wiz with the peek. They know the B hit's coming. They've got no lockdown though. So Bior's in a tricky position, but again, his utility has been key. And there's a great flash. It catches everyone blind, but Will can't get anything off of it. Needs the hot hands now to delay as they start to march in Garage, but Critical. The Owl drone early on gave him all the info, all the play, and Sick does get a trade. And Bior gunned down. They're getting risky here built by Gamers, and Sentinels under pressure, stay calm, but Rob Wiz, what can he get here, Gus? 3 players around the corner. It's 1. Can he get 2? Dashes away, tries to get some blades into him. It's a 1v2, and Critical's down to just 1.
How did Critical even get that kill? Beaming through the wall, but Shazam! Pick something up from Rob Wiz. And again, I think that's just Bogdan's law. Low HP, you pick up an op, and oh boy, just works out in your hands. BBG with a massive opportunity at the end of things, and Rob Wiz just missing out of the knives. Sentinels, they survive once again.
Just barely as well. I mean, these rounds, extremely close. Sentinels able to scrape on by again, built by Gamers. Another awkward buy. Guardian, Bucky, Bulldog, anything they can bring and muster together in this crucial round. Owl drones go down. There are 3 players here, but neither Owl drone gets the info they wanted, and Shazam gets the head peek. Rob Wiz down. Sick finds Bior towards middle. And Sinatra looking for a little more on the spray. Foe is so tagged. He's pushed on through. Tries to get something from it. 3 shots could be enough, but Sinatra ensures the 3rd won't connect. 2v5. And while Critical is able to muster 1, Sinatra can do a lot of damage here. 2v3, Hunters to recharge, but again, Sentinels in a comfortable position with most sites already cleared out now.
Yeah, it's just a guessing game at this point. There was a kill over towards mid, but Sentinels, they have been ones to be fairly lurky in a sense. They're not really satisfied with really one site being in their control. And once they clear out the back lane, that's even more info that they have for themselves. They're able to really branch out, and indeed they did. They're gonna clear out the C site. There's one person in garage, and again, that's just poorly timed purely because they had someone in that garage area. So now Critical, he feels a little bit dumbfounded because now Sentinels have themselves a little bit of space, and the round is essentially theirs. 2v3 though, still a chance.
Shazam already watching that angle. Will trying to lurk around. That as soon as the trip was broken. And you're right. Built by Gamers, no real chance in this one. 7-3 Sentinels. Dapper looking for an exit. Does get Will, so no guns. Or at least not enough guns, I'd say, to suffice a decent round for Built by Gamers. Dapper still looking on the hunt. He knows his player's low, so the Classic is his best bet. But yeah, Sentinels, easy 7th round. Like you said, they're never content with just one site. They play it smart. They don't get caught off guard by a flanking Critical. Instead, Critical gets caught off guard by Sick. No gun saved, and Built by Gamers, they are severely punished. Moving forward, this is just going to be the Rico. Moving into the last 1.5, they want all the guns possible to try and battle against Sentinels. Sentinels, with their credits, are starting to stack up on the arsenal. Odin for Sinatra, and still the op for Shazam, which has been just as good, I'd say, as Rob Wiz recently.
Oh, surely so. I mean, Shazam was really the one that had utilized that operator to its full success, to its full potential of that first map, and really only now are we seeing the op really succeeding in BBG's hands. But wow, oh wow, okay, Sick. Gonna be able to get an early kill over towards mid. BBG getting a little bit desperate, even again, that is speaking in a little bit of absolutes, but it's almost a dumbfounding situation where BBG, they are looking for a couple of frags really as early as possible, and they're just getting caught off. Critical, however, with only 5 HP, escaping that scenario. Sinatra goes down.
Oh, Dapper missing the time on a Bior. Will might get caught out, but Dapper again missing out on the time. And maybe not this time around. Team players, possibly a third lining them up, but Will with the stinger from distance. Able to shut down Dapper. There's a Phantom that can be recovered, and this round is recoverable here. Lockdown available as well for Bior. And a 3v3. I think Sick will invest at least this run it back to try and force these players on out of here, but Built by Gamers, super winnable round. They are prepared to invest this ultimate.
30 seconds left.
All hands ready. Lockdown down, and Sentinels, they're going to be stuck in the site unless they can make a quick getaway. Already Nanostorm's going in to force players out of the cubby. This is a strong setup, and Rob Wiz as well, anticipating someone to run away. They've now got the man advantage.
Okay, Sick. Let's get one back onto Rob Wiz, but an even bigger shot over towards Long. Does make up some more space. Sentinels just trying to hold off as long as possible. Only one person remaining off this 1v2. And Bior barely escaping, still up in the corner, but
Hunter memes.
That is nasty from Sick. What a flick. Bior thought he had a chance, but Sick puts him down. 19 kills for Sick. And we're barely through 11 rounds in this game. What on earth has popped off in the mind of Sick?
He's had one heck of a series, like you said. I think the first map you mentioned like 26, 27 kills. And just to kick it off, he's well surpassed the halfway mark. And she's Sick. All right, then. If you want to be that brutal, go ahead. Critical. Looking for something downrange with the Hunter series. It's the last round, so you got to make these investments. But the same thing for Sentinels. So many ultimates, and Sick trying to add another to his tally. But it's Bior that barely escapes him with 16 HP. Will is getting a lot of info. Shazam ready for his run it back, so they no longer have control. Will could have had it, but Shazam sits back. And now BBG have to adjust. Oh.
That's so awkward.
And the spike now.
Hey, a small spam, and there you go. As humorous as it is, that is very much an important scenario now for BBG. They have clear control, but oh wow, Sinatra! Gotta be joking me with that Hunter's Theory. Still tracking down his opponent through the wall, and again, just well placed in general. Spike is still very much in the control of BBG, however, with one person right in the smoke. And Critical, he actually wants to take up full advantage up close. Still with the spark in. Recon bolt going off. Shazam doesn't actually want to go for the wide swing. 25 seconds left, and ooh, Zoms gets the kill onto Critical. Now it's just down to Foe. Shazam in there, he just backs on out. He said better head out, but Foe takes him down. Now Foe waiting up for the cross up. Still a teleport. 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6. He has it. Zoms, the teleport with the buzzer beater, to say the least. Almost literally from downtown. And now Foe, he's already rotated. Zoms does not hear a singular thing. Foe is in. Zoms is out. Both of these Omens down to just about 80 HP. Foe is just trying to take up as much control of site as possible to really restrict this down to 1 or 2 spots. Either it's short or it's heaven. But little does he know is that Zoms is ready and waiting for him already. The spike is planted for him. Foe hasn't found anything. The spike is ticking, and just like that, that's it. What a fight from Zoms. The fragging garage, the spike control, and somehow BBG, the closest opportunity that they've had in a long time for a round, all just dissipates in the palm of their hands.
500 IQ from Zoms to commit to the TP. I got so scared he would have had no time whatsoever. My God, so many sick plays from Sick and Zoms.
Come on, bro, come on.
Well, that last one is just the cherry on top. Sick is having one heck of a performance. Again, 19-5 at the half. He's looking to surpass the 25 or 26 kill mark he had on Ascent. The dude is popping off. Sentinels look unstoppable here on Haven. And now on the defense, they're just as good at the defense as they are on the attack. If you thought their attack was good with a 58% win rate overall, they've got a 57% here on the defensive side. So Sentinels are looking good. They are looking dominant.
Ini double digit.
And it's going to be a difficult one here for Built by Gamers. But again, the game is never done. 6-round gap. It can be recovered, but that life cannot. Critical down early as BBG start to split into garage to the C site, but they're stopped in their tracks.
Di-help, bang. Di-help, bang. Itu, bang. 1 HP tuh. 1 HP, bang.
You are flying in no way. He still keeps fighting with 3 HP. Sees an opportunity, he tries to snag it out, but oh, that's sick. Barely enough time for it, and Sick just keeps holding W, doesn't he? He doesn't stop fragging. He sees a pixel, he aims at it. It's as easy as that, right? No matter what HP this man is at. Sentinels, they win out the more than important, the critical pistol round is now BBG. They find themselves up against the ropes with only 3 rounds separating Sentinels and a path into the quarterfinals.
It's such a tricky position to be in now if you are Built by Gamers. I mean, you have to full buy here. It's a risk, it's a gamble, but they've been so good on second round conversions, and this needs to be one of those rounds. They need to be sharp. They need to be as good as ever. Shazam, early damage done. Shock darts out as well. And there's already a push as well from Sinatra. He's getting on such a fast flank. There's no Killjoy turret. There's no alarm bot. There's nothing. They've got no idea. Sick is right behind him. Sinatra with a free frag and Shazam in the back sight. He will be revealed, but Zoms is there to support. It is a massacre. And the flank still, it's keeping back Bior, who has the spike. How do you go about this if you're Built by Gamers? You surely can't. Sick around the corner. Sinatra with the frag. It's a 2 versus 2. And wow, Critical. He's all the way on the flank already. He's back. He's double back. And will in a 1v1. Somehow Sentinels have let this slip.
Oh, Sentinels let it slip, but they don't let go. Who else, right?
Hunter.
It had to be Sick at the end of things. 7 HP.
Dah bang.
And again, you gotta feel bad for BBG.
You gotta.
No matter how close they're getting
You
in these
gotta.
rounds, it always seems like Sentinels has some sort of ace in the hole, has some sort of frag back, a chance back. And it just so happens to be that the name of that chance, the savior for the Sentinels team in terms
You
of
got
absolute
it, baby.
dominance, is none other than sick.
Dude, 24 frags. I mean, he had 26. He went 26 and 18 on Ascent. He should be able to surpass this pretty easily, I'd imagine. Sentinels. Let's see what a sick can get off. But this Zom's clean shot onto Rob Wiz and Sinatra. Doing Sinatra things. He's on a fast flank. He's looking for information. He's got a free frag. He's got a second, not the third. Bior. Just enough time to adjust, but not enough time to be ready for Zoms. This is a 12th and
GG,
critical
bang,
in a
GG.
1v4. It's doom and gloom for Built by Gamers as Sentinels stampede their way here on Haven. And all it's going to take, one more frag in one more round to find themselves a spot in the top 8 or the quarterfinals. Valorant Champions Tour Open Qualifiers number 1. And there we go, it's critical down and Sentinels at 12.
It's called challengers for a reason. BBG, very much the challenger, very much the underdog coming into this game. Sentinels, they seemed mortal coming into this tournament, coming into this game in general, dropping a map to Serenity on their best map, on the map that they were known for. They ended up making it back. Then against BBG, I mean, especially here on Haven, they stomp them out. 12-3 still, there's still a chance somehow for BBG. But Sentinels, they're shutting down the challengers and they're coming up. They're rising up to the challenge and they're making this theirs. BBG, they are starting things off hot though, as Rob Wiz and Will both collect some massive frags on their own.
Sick push down long though, and there's at least a re-aggression from Sinatra, but he's got no idea what's awaiting for him. He's been quiet all game long. Well, here's your chance. There's the peek, there's the jiggle, but he doesn't take the bait. Rob Wiz, they're going down.
Whoa!
It's Sinatra out of nowhere. It's nothing into something. The king of Valorant and Sinatra's got another pupil. 4 kills, and just like that, the series is done. Sinatra goes up huge, and Sentinels are through to the quarterfinals.
Not only the quarterfinals, but the closed qualifier here for challengers. Congratulations, Sentinels.
My God, what a way to close it out. Sinatra, jaw is on the floor right now. Sinatra, I literally said that. He's got no idea what's coming. And then he pulls that off. Sinatra, that had to be the play of that game. I'm gonna be honest, that was insane.
Play of the game, play of the day, who knows? I mean, maybe the stakes were a little bit lower. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know at this point. We've seen a couple of insane plays. I think one play just happened, I think off stream too, where Wardell, remember the judge that we actually had for Arena? Yeah, no, Wardell got another one off of it. He actually got an ace off the judge, one clip.
Okay.
But it is what it is, right? We do have the boys of Sentinels moving on into the quarterfinals in amazing fashion. And
Hunter very
again, coming
nice,
into this
bro.
one, we
Hunter.
try to really convey the fact that
Siapa menang?
Likely an 11-11 situation. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
We go back.
Let's
We
go.
go back.
He did that.
He come back, bro. He come
That
back.
one hurt so bad that they called the attack plus. So, wow, what a play.
Mental.
That is lovely. You do like to see that. That is great. Yeah, clean round. It couldn't be more clean. It literally could not be more clean. No one died. And I said before, if they won that round, I would have believed. And here we are. If they don't lose another force spy from TSM, which this is, 3 stingers, and Wardell needs to save for the off, so he's just gonna go for a
We
sheriff.
come
4
back.
stingers is gonna be hazed.
We come back.
But yeah, if they don't lose to another force spy,
We come back.
exit, they're banked. Again, it's crazy. Like you said, Chad,
Bang,
this is
Nonton,
probably
bang.
the best bank that you could possibly have in competitive Valorant at the top tier. Because Pure not only has an op, but he also has max money. So he's guaranteed that op for a couple rounds coming.
Hold by the rest of that.
Is he gonna ult?
Pretty much for the rest of the like standard time. You're in sight. Aaron's the only one here, and he's blind, so he's not gonna. Eyes wide.
Masuk tuh, Bin.
Whips the shot. That might be kind of rough because they're surely gonna push Iron into the decision. They're gonna not let this.
Boro-boro ngeplan kau. Disiksa lagi ada.
So many shots. Hayes gets the kill. This is not looking too good, but they have to kill these detains.
Masuk masuk tuh.
At the back of sight.
Nice.
Cutler
1 lawan
is
2.
the only one to get a kill. No, it's Wardell. The detain is so far outside. Subrosa, I don't know how this man is the only one that got caught in that Killjoy ultimate, but nonetheless, last alive, worst weapon. Pure is watching one angle. BCJ, back of sight, sees the last player. He's gonna get smoked off, but it should be perfectly fine. A TP to the other side, and they're both working together now.
Sebelah sama.
In no world should Subrosa win this. There should be absolutely no chance. 4K from BCJ. It's all.
Tenang.
Oh my goodness. What is happening? 11-11 on the last map of the day.
They're a defensive team.
dia lah.
Exec coming back. They're here on their favorite side. Should it be Exec at a tie game against TSM 11-11, just shy of what could be even overtime situation.
Bro, I get such bad anxiety while watching this shit.
Oh no.
My voice is gone too.
Time will tell. BCJ amidst all the chaos managed to get a 4K, which is pretty massive for the team. Now full buy for both teams. Except, of course, we'll be able to full buy the next 2 rounds no matter what.
No way.
This is what could be the last chance for TSM to have a nice, solid shot on their round. Please. Save round and half by again.
Come on.
Back, you'll get so much utility, so much value off that ultimate so often. Wardell has the control onto Heaven. Good smoke. Onto the Aimers, pushes right through that Viper screen. Pay no respect to it.
No.
BCJ finally kills Subrosa. They're going to get Heaven control right back in their favor.
Pur, ganti senjata lu, Pur.
Bladestorm versus
How do you pronounce Jinx? Shut the fuck up.
See what they're able to do with either ultimate. Neither are crazy powerful in this situation. He's taking the full buy.
Held Ben.
The Omen and Wardell on a cheeky angle on the wall. He's able to find 2 kills now. BCJ answers right back, but it's going to be a 2 versus 3. Exet, can they win this round? Can they get themselves to match point and match point? It will be TSM doing what most predicted them to do. Exet, we did find the timer is not there though, so while they get the kills, BCJ with another quadra kill, back-to-back rounds. This time it does not amount to a round win. TSM on map and match point.
There's no way they get this far, but don't bring it across the line. Come on, they gotta.
Why lagging, bro?
No. Okay, there
this
you go.
might be the round to do it. Hazed, light vibe. Wardell only has a steer.
We have hazed all.
Money was hurt.
Dude, we could do
for
this.
That entire TSM roster because they might have won.
We can do this.
But not only does that reset their loss bonus, that also they lost a couple players, and they're now basically broke. Wardell does have knives. That is the one saving grace. But still, Hazed, he actually went back on the Guardian, is opting for armor instead. That is an interesting one. I wonder if it's because Exit are mainly Phantom users. I'm not entirely sure. But whatever the case, he's probably got more. Sorry?
And Color has 2400 and the guy's Tinker for Wardell.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's weird, man. I guess they really thought his knives would work out.
We're gambling.
Oh boy, that's a gamble. One gets hit, but Wardell is still good. It is slow though. Both teams don't want to give this round up. Both teams have no desire.
B. Oh, nice.
That's bad. That's Spike. That's so much info. He's alone too. There's no one to trade. No one even close. Wardell's so far behind.
I dare you, Aaron.
And now they finally
I dare you, Aaron.
They're probably playing for that.
What?
Two for Iron. Wardell gets one. That's important.
Shots.
That's the only one brought back in this round.
We
But
don't
so
get
many
Aaron,
teammates are
bro.
here right now.
Aaron spelled with an A.
All
Let's
across
go.
the
We
head,
got it.
Subrosa gets them out.
Nice.
That's a good blind, but Subrosa is not the only person to get the
Dua lawan
kill.
dua
2
tuh.
versus 2 now. Cutler comes in from B main, now makes it doable. 20 seconds. The time is so low for the attack. Pure is still in spawn. Wallbangs on a weeded are decent, but Pure If he
Kanan bang, kanan bang.
Cutler has to get this frag. He has no option to fail right now. But Sub Rosa goes down.
God, it's
now
all
he's
up
the
to
last one
Cutler.
alive, 70 HP.
Ooh.
Overtime
We're going
secured.
to OT.
Overtime.
Can't believe it.
Overtime.
Did it. We did with the double on
We
the
did.
kill with a nice positioning just in case it whiffs. Caitlyn was able to punish as well in case it needed. Big round by Aaron.
Overtime.
Kill on the round. Taking down Drone and then finishing off the revive and Hayes when the blind comes in massively, coming out with Quippo. BCJ hits a paranoia up on the Raptors, but honestly, Wardell, he whipped those. He did not hit the Blaze Storm. That's a
Chat,
back-to-back Blaze
this is
Storm
not
that
my
Wardell
fault
whipped, which is
because I pronounce
very uncommon. That's
Jif.
very rare that you see Wardell just whipping that heavily.
What is this delusion?
It's one of those things, you know, these are players. This has come down to the line. This is everything. We're now in overtime for game 3 of this best of 3. Loser goes home. The winner progresses on to quarterfinals. Xset, TSM on the map of Split. Only 7 seconds left on the clock. The buy is up. Operator in hand for Wardell. The Op Academy master, the teacher, the man himself, trying to make it happen with that token gun he claims to his name. And we did with that Viper on site. And make those lineups happen. There's cutting off Wardell's operator with that wall, which is massive. Man, we did. He's gonna have to rotate away, probably go over to screens for a long angle, but the site control has been completely lost. He's not gonna be able to get a long range shot with that operator. With no armor, it's gonna be a little dicey, being close quarters. Against some of the rifles.
Belum bang.
BCJ trying to just hold off a flank to make sure nobody's there on the
Nggak ada, bang.
sewers, but with that wide lurk, he's gonna have a perfect situation to take out those.
Udah, masuk.
Go.
Mati. Legit. Legit, baby.
Going up one round in overtime now in their own map and match point. Xset, TSM, overtime.
Mampus kau.
You have to ask, after that kind of situation, milliseconds of timing.
Chat, do we
Drone has
qualify
that
to
kill.
close if we lose
For
this game?
sure. There are 3 people looking for that flank, that potential for BCJ to be there. They know he's there. Drone hears him jumping back towards sewer.
No.
They have every idea, but they decide to go to site, and that decision costs them the entire round. The whole round, and it might cost them the game. Because
Is
now
it one
it's
team
one
per
left for
group?
Xset to take this. How have we gotten here, Chad? What happened? Let's see. Let's go back. 13-7 buying in favor of Xset. 13-3 Icebox in favor of TSM, and
Top
now
8.
overtime in the last one. There could
Where are
not
we at
be
right now
more
on the
favorable
bracket?
story that's all in this matchup today.
I don't like this. Please don't go heaven.
Lari.
Shoot until you see the whites of their eyes.
We're
So many
16.
blinds. Aftershock driving them off, and there's a minute.
Bingung dia masuk kemana deh.
You know how important those lurks are. So Rose is gonna stay, just in
Belum
case
tahu.
he does have Spike in his position, which could be slightly
Chat, I don't
risky.
feel good.
But they trust
I don't know
Drone,
if it
they
was the
trust
boba
Wardell
or the
to come
chicken
up to this
nuggies.
heaven position. That's the one spot that
Ya,
they
dapat.
cover. They could line up, and they almost do. So much damage on a Wardell.
1 HP tuh Wardell.
What chance?
It's this goddamn
No blind.
gameplay.
Nice.
Skill of his life. That's the spike up. Second frag, not quite.
Nice.
Weeded gets one though, and Hayes with a trade. So still doable. They understand this player should be
Ooh.
trapped in hell. But
Selesai.
it doesn't matter. Wall goes up, they go right through it. Hayes somehow
Res.
covers.
Res.
Not possible. No, it's not. 20 seconds. They need to run. Hayes has to absolutely book it to the B site right now. Weeded knows that
stays?
Subrosa is left alive here, but he's not going to go for the kill. He's going to go to the other site to try and deny the plant, but it's too late. So much time. Now we plays a 1 versus 2. That double kill from Hayes could have been the most important double kill we've seen in this series today. Gives him a res, puts the favor back into their team.
Oh my heaven.
Subrosa, he's been looking so bad in this series. Not in this series. Sorry,
Oh, yeah, I
in
like
this map, he's
this.
12-20. He's
Oh my
bottom of the
God,
scoreboard. He's
Hayes.
bottom of the server.
I've had.
But that res could be
Wow.
absolutely exactly what they need to win the round. Gun not spotted. Both players opposite positioning. One high ground in heaven. Greedy wants to cut him off. Tap, sees the first. Damage taken.
Why are you full
Ultimate
challenging?
out. Another tap. Rose has to. He's got a run. Hitting what?
Oh my God,
He gets into
Vern.
the smoke. Second overtime.
All right, we go double OT.
Switching sides. Overtime.
We did come in massive at the start of that round, getting that first pick, getting a lot of damage off on Wardell, falling out, gets the kill on somebody rotating in from main, drops off just before Wardell's able to swing on him, stays alive through all of that, and the team comes up from CT to get the first kill off. There's all them two versus Hayes and 2 versus 1. But they get a little bit too ahead of themselves. They get a little bit too loose and sloppy in that situation. They double peek at the same time, line themselves up.
He's feeling it.
He's gets a double the revive. And with all that information, because he did decide to go with a slow rotation. So Broza never saw him go past CT. Called out that he's going to be on either from Market or be Heaven. And they were ready for him. They were able to do that retake for the whole of the site. Stop the retake.
Let's not overinvest B
Wardell
here.
back
Come
on the operator.
man.
Found more success with a Vandal than the operator than last
Udah
round.
masuk, Pak.
Full Stampede ahead is X-Side. They're just storming onto the site. Wardell's not able to see anything from that wall. We did just knows it. He knows to hold off Wardell.
Oh my god, there we go.
But it goes down the worst timing possible for Aaron. It couldn't be worse.
Nice.
Killjoy, pure answer right back, getting the operator off the map. Huge for X-Side to answer back by the plan as well.
It's okay, we have numbers still.
What we did, very weak, but live and nevertheless. Drum pushing through while blind.
There we go,
He
Drum.
caught off by surprise a little bit by BCJ, but not that much. And was able to get the kill after the last of the 3v3. The bomb came through. The aftershock is there. The bomb was not even halved.
Let's go.
Pure pushing through with Whipple. We did find the kill. Jerome laps a lot. 1 versus 1 situation. Whipple was able to secure the triple kill for the round. Get them back to match point yet again. This time in double overtime.
Overtime.
We'll have to see if the defense will hold up a little bit better than last time. Or triple overtime. Question mark.
It could be possible. These rounds have gotten so close. It has literally come down to a 1 versus 1 every single round so far. Every single round. It could not, like, the last round came down to Sub Rosa literally sprinting through the Viper smoke, just praying for his life, and he hits 1 bullet, and that was all it took. That one, Drone, almost a 1v2. Like, if you expect anyone to win that scenario, it is Drone. That man plays so, like, he is actually the definition of a human aimbot. You guys have seen 10, right? You guys have seen Shroud, but, like, no, they don't match up. Not to this guy. He hits all the shots, but unfortunately the second one peaks way too fast, and we all know, we all hate the game. These bringing sprays, right? They don't reset fast enough. Wardell, though, he resets BCJ in the round. And that battle of the top frags, that is actually insane. BCJ, on the Omen, he's pulling out some ridiculous stuff, because 27 for him, top of the server, even above the Jet offer on the opposing team that should be at the top of the scoreboard. He's been doing so much, but this time no longer in play.
Twifo bought a judge
on attack.
And TSM just by feeling it out aren't attacking through mid. It's just gonna be drone. But we did anyway. Hey,
Udah di-set bro, udah di-set semuanya bro.
B control obtained by TSM. It's gonna be 3 versus 4 retake. This is looking likely to be a triple overtime by the numbers here. Managed for TSM, but the bomb has not been planted yet. They still need to get that down. 15 seconds remain. The time is running out for X-Side. Huge kill as Whipple rotation through the Viper.
That's sight.
1 versus 1 situation.
Elegant!
Was not looking through the corner. And X-Side
Manis.
completes the upset. It is not my prediction. It is an upset, but I'm certainly not surprised. X-Side coming up huge as they can.
This is your fault, chat. GIF. You guys are giving GIF energy, and not GIF energy. That's the problem.
On a light buy, which is all they will have left, fully invested into this round. This is do or die for FaZe. going to try and slam it B. It looks like all 5 players ready. Who will be the first one? Oh, wait, never mind. This is LG. Okay, apologies. LG going to slam it B. Here comes the showstopper. A little awkward blast pack. Flights would be a little bit disappointed in that. Rocket missed as well, but Dre will redeem himself with a headshot to Raucus. Spike will go down, and FaZe are saving. All right. Gonna hold on to their 2 guns. They know their economic situation not great. And so they will have to play for overtime, it looks like, as LG gonna take a 12th round. Nice. We jumped in viewers. Thank you, everybody who's newly tuning in. This is map number 2 between Luminosity Gaming and FaZe Clan. FaZe won Icebox in a very back and forth contest, and they are currently down 8 to what is soon to be 12. So we should probably keep an eye on where LG is. They're hunting for skills. They want to take these guns away. They will take the operator out of Baby Bay's hands, and Dre gets a kill with the boom bot. So FaZe ultimately get hunted down, and they are going into match point with only a couple of rifles to their name. All right, LG trying to push it to game 3, which will be bind. And it will be... Oh, sorry. Never mind. It's not bind. What am I talking about? It's a different note. It will be split, and it will be FaZe on defense first. So, final map of this series will be split, but it's not over yet. FaZe certainly has surprised us before on their eco buys, on their light buys, on their scuffed buys, whatever you want to call it. LG has shown a very strong, methodical approach to the attacking and defensive sides, really kind of throwing FaZe off their game plan. As any FaZe Clan knows, any FaZe Clan member or fan knows, FaZe is all about the swagger, and they certainly like to pop off and roll over you, but we are shutting it down.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Nice little blast back play from Dre. I see you. Got that movement. Throw that in a highlight reel. Up into the tree room with the man advantage. Gonna have to break the door to do so. Ooh, Marv gets a nice little kill on a proto. That's pretty big. It's gonna be
30 seconds.
The fuck is that?
It's gonna be informational ultimate. Take from FaZe. Dre hitting shots left and right. Gonna get gunned down by Baby Babe though, and Zachary will go for the defuse.
I see that.
Give it over to Baby Babe for one shot closer to those knives. Suddenly we have ourselves a little bit of momentum for FaZe. 12-9. Definitely not out of the woods by any means. LG, plenty of economy to work with. Dre leading the way, 20-13-2, a Proto 15-12. Baby Bay 22-15-7, and Corey apparently he gassed himself out in the last game, dropping an almost 40 bomb on the arena on Icebox. Only 12 kills this time. I gotta point that out just because the guy's such a freak that you expect him to pop off every single time. And FaZe definitely a team that needs him to do that to win games consistently. So see what he has in store for us here in this 22nd round here on Ascent. LG once again taking the slow approach, trying to gain some information. Baby Bay playing aggressively, gonna get spotted by the boom blast, has to shoot it out, gonna dash, burns the tailwind to escape. As you can see, the spike is still back in spawn as a proto gonna rotate probably back through. Gonna be a teleport used very early by Marv to actually complete this. So now 3 players for FaZe on A. Let's see what LG does. Looks like Stellar able to make just enough noise to force that rotation. Now Marv's back on his way to A. So
I see that.
you know what? Sometimes you just want to press your buttons. It's okay. Not every ultimate has to be the most insane thing you've ever seen. Sometimes you just want to get a little bit of a workout, right? You know, go for a walk, clear your head.
30 seconds left.
Nice little cam from Proto. Gets a quick little peek at what's going on. The B-side Rockets tries to charge out with a Judge. He goes down. Dre comes out. Oh no, dies again with the ultimate out. Baby Bay has knives. He whiffs. Spike needs to get down. Spike needs to get down. Moose, does he have time? He's got to start planting. Baby Bay. Spike will go down. Corey's coming in though. Corey's looking to clean up. Only 2 players for LG alive. Moose able to get a kill. Able to gun down. Oh, he tries to transfer. Looks for the 360, but Baby Bay will drop on his head and clean that one up. 12 to 10. Boy, here we go. FaZe starting to roll. Or are they? Because their buy still looking pretty rough. LG have banked up quite a bit. FaZe still piecing together.
Pasti bro, pasti bro, pasti bro.
Ultimate wise, we've got Thief with the Empress, and we have Neural Theft available for Zachary.
Siang ya bro ya, sudah Soljum, sudah Soljum.
Spike over
Main
towards
kita
A.
sudah Soljum.
LG looking to close this one out and move on to map number 3.
Right here.
Tuhan kembali.
Once again, lurking in B with the camera, trying to get some information.
Cage triggered.
Push forward, look for some map control actually. He's actually getting kind of aggressive here. Meanwhile, Stellar pushing forward. Baby Bay is hiding in the corner near the switch for the door. It's going to be an orb pickup. Moose. He grabs this orb. One off of the Hunter's Fury for now. Got 1 player in wine, which is Stellar. Again, FaZe doing some laps, rotating back and forth.
Right here.
Right here.
Trying to figure out where this pressure is coming from, and LG again playing this game of not giving up too much information. Dre looks like he's setting up to potentially enter onto the A site. We have Corey sitting behind the boxes here. Nice paranoia. Lined it out. Versus Pop. They gunned out Corey through the boxes. Huge play. And also take out Baby Bay. This could be the end of the map. Let's see what the retake looks like for FaZe. 3 players crowding into heaven. This is not a very effective way to pinch onto a site. Try and gun through the floor once again. Hunter's Fury coming out. Proto, Thief, and crew blasting away. Rock is able to find one, but Thief will clean it up for his 3rd kill of the round. Attackers win that round, and LG win that map. So, LG, they pick Icebox. FaZe wins. FaZe picks Ascent. LG wins. Map number 3 going to be split. We've got ourselves a series here to qualify for that Challengers Open, or the Challengers first event. Baby Bay leading the way for FaZe, 25-16. As you can see, then 5 LG players in a row with the average combat score, and actually just frags in general, topping FaZe. So, fortunately, Corey not able to follow up that first game.
Gua udah Soljum baru main lagi. Oke bro, thank you, bye bye.
To see what's in store for game number 3. We are going to probably take a quick break. I would